So today I will be giving a presentation on Angela's Piazza Women's Drop-In Center. All right. So what is the most important thing in a relationship? Communication, boundaries, consent. Consent is a really important thing in any relationship. Now, what about when this isn't in a relationship, like domestic abuse and violence? That is what Angela's Piazza wants to help with, specifically with women domestic abuse victims. Therefore, I am here to persuade you to donate to Angela's Women's Drop-In Center. From a credible source, because not only am I a child from a former domestic abuse situation, but I've also done extensive research on it, and specifically, I've focused on the quotes from people who have went to Angela's Piazza. According to Rachel M., the domestic violence program facilitator is a very empowering women. She makes domestic violence much more understandable to me. I like how women can come together as one in a support group. This personal testimony illustrates the profound effect that support has on her. Furthering this, Chris M. Sullivan's article, Understanding How Domestic Violence Support Promotes Survivor Well-Being, that writes, whether through individual counseling, support groups, crisis intervention, or casual conversation, staff helps survivors and their children understand that they are not alone in their experience and that they are not responsible for their victimization. This is a more professional, analytical view that emphasizes the total support, the vital support for domestic violence victims. Another need for domestic abuse victims is sanctuary. Because where can you go when your significant other, they know where you work, where you sleep, your friends, Therefore, sanctuary. According to research by Goodman Williams, it is observed that the goal of intervention is for survivors to achieve safe and stable housing and psychological well-being. This is further understood by the relationship between IPV, intermediate partner violence, and material hardship may also be more indirect. A particular reason for this is because victims, even after escaping their victors, are often left in this material hardship, especially as a result. That could block them from attending school, steal money, or destroy their credit, and even stop their movements to encounter them. This is where having a safe place is essential, because it offers a place to hide for domestic abuse victims. Continuing these essential needs, legal assistance, as mentioned earlier, is critical for intermediate partner domestic violence victims to have legal representation, as often the second most helpful is a separation order from their abuser. First is leaving the abuser. According to the Office of Violence Against Women, OVW, by the U.S. Department of Justice, the Legal Assistance for Victims, LAV, program is intended to increase the availability of civil and criminal legal assistance needed to effectively aid adult and youth victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking by providing funds for comprehensive direct legal services to victims in legal matters relating to or arising out of the abuse or violence. This program is offered for nonprofits such as Angela's Piazza, helping victims not have to worry about material hardship in such a trying time. But also, according to the Legal Services Corporation, LSC.gov, legal aid for victims of domestic violence promotes individual empowerment and self-reliance by giving people the tools and knowledge to access the civil court system and protect and exercise their rights. This is not only crucial for survivors Filling a protective order is one of the most effective tools for stopping an abuser, second only to leaving the abuser. Emotional support groups, sanctuary, and legal support are significant needs for domestic abuse victims. Angela's Piazza Women's Drop-In Center is an excellent representation for helping these needs. By making any donation to Angela's Piazza's Women's Drop-In Center, we can help alleviate some of these needs for women of domestic abuse who have suffered such an issue. Angela's, your donation will go directly to helping domestic violence victims, but also allocate the resources to provide a safe environment for victims of domestic abuse. Ways of helping out is by making a direct donation to their website, attending their Super Bowl event, which is about $40 per guest. However, you get to keep the bowl. Or even possibly buy flowers. Its local flower shop sends $2 for every purchase made on their website. However, let's discuss what will happen if you don't choose to donate or purchase an item and leave here without helping out. Picture this: your mother, your sister, yourself are a victim of domestic abuse, and you finally got the strength to leave your abuser. But for how long? They know everything about you already: where you sleep, who your friends are. They might even know your location already and be stalking you from the shadows. This experience is often felt by most domestic abuse survivors, because their abuser often has all the power and can easily find them when they are most vulnerable. They have trouble even moving anywhere because the constant threat of their abuser will know and can track them down. They don't even know where it's safe when there is a protective shelter, because of the same fact. The domestic abuse hotline cited 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the U.S. have experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So these words are not empty ideas, but actual events backed by statistics. However, a donation will ensure that Angela's Piazza stays operational and can continue to support and provide for despondent victims of abuse. Any donation, big or small, will go directly to support marginalized women. It is of the utmost importance that you acknowledge what has been said here today. I presented to you the needs of Angela's Piazza and are trying to fulfill, which is a support group, sanctuary, and legal assistance, as well as a solution to all of these needs and the possible consequences of not supporting the organization. Therefore, I urge you to help support Angela's Piazza for the betterment of domestic abuse victims and for the healing recovery of once marginalized by their abusers. Control. Now that has been stated, recall to my opening. Where does a domestic abuse victim go when they have escaped their abuser and now their house is no longer a home and their world feels completely empty? Feels completely secluded by their abuser. If you would like further information on Angela's Piazza Women Drop-In Center, visit their website at www.angelaspiazza.org. Thank you.